to our monthly POW MIA ceremony here at the Capitol. We'll start off with a Pledge of Allegiance. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In 1987, the Memorial Committee got together and decided to create this monument dedicated to the men and women who served in the Vietnam conflict. At that time, there were 64 North Carolinians still missing in action. Today, we have 38. The North Carolina Vietnam veterans decided that we were going to honor the memory of those fallen men the first Saturday of every month, every year. And we've been doing it for the last 34 years, non-stop. Last few years, a bunch of groups around the state of North Carolina have volunteered and stepped up to take part in this ceremony. And we really appreciate all the efforts and the hard work that they're doing to help with the memory of these MIAs. Today, we are honored by having our guest, the North Carolina Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association. The North Carolina Vietnam Helicopter Pilots have participated in 4 presidential inaugural parades and presently are in possession of 6 Vietnam-era helicopters. There were over 13,000 helicopters during the Vietnam conflict, and over 5,000 helicopters were lost. So we are grateful to have them. You cannot read a book, see a picture, or see a movie without having it depicted of the helicopter that served in Vietnam doing medevac, research, escape and evasion, assaults, protection. We really honor and appreciate the helicopter pilots and the crews. Without the crews, the helicopter pilots would have been insignificant. Thank you for the crews, thank you for the pilots. The North Carolina Vietnam Memorial, the last firefight, was dedicated in May of 1987 by the Vietnam Memorial Committee. Since that time, North Carolina Vietnam veterans, along with guest organizations, have held these ceremonies at 12 noon on the first Saturday of every month, as well as special occasions. North Carolina Vietnam Veterans is committed to hold these sacred ceremonies until there has been a full accounting of all our fellow North Carolinians who are still unaccounted for as a direct result of the war in Southeast Asia. When our imprisoned comrades returned from Southeast Asia in 1973, it was evident that not all of our known missing were returned. There have been many facts and misfacts disseminated to the public and to the POW MIA families since that time. Which are truths and which are lies, we may never know. What we do know is that since World War I, in any conflict involving the communists, not all of our missing comrades in arms have been returned or accounted for. After World War I, 4,000 MIAs were unaccounted for. World War II, 73,600 MIAs were unaccounted for. 1,303 from North Carolina. After the Korean War, 7,900 unaccounted for. 186 from North Carolina. After the war in Vietnam, there were 1,640 of our brothers unaccounted for, 64 from North Carolina, and now we have 38. We will honor their memory until they all come home. We'll now read their names. Report.
Sir, the following men are still listed as unaccounted for as a result of the war in Southeast Asia. Robert Douglas Avery, Morganton, North Carolina, U.S. Marine Corps. Harry John Belknap, Jonas Ridge, North Carolina, United States Navy. Murray Lyman Borden, Goldsboro, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Eric Parker Rice, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, U.S. Navy. Edward Dean Brown, Jr., Charlotte, North Carolina, U.S. Navy.
Sir, the following men are listed as missing in action. Franklin Harley Canup, Jr., Concord, North Carolina, United States Navy. Fred Lee Clark, Troutman, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Glenn Richard Cook, Charlotte, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Andrew Johnson Craven, Wilmington, North Carolina, United States Army. John Hunter Cruz III, Asheville, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Sir. Frederick Lewis Crispin, Salisbury, North Carolina, United States Army, and the 48th Assault Helicopter Company. He was lost in Lamson 719 in the spring of 1971. Robert Lee Curley Jr., Monroe, North Carolina, United States Army. Robert F. Gatewood Jr., Hickory, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Paul Edwin Gore, Faison, North Carolina, United States Navy.
Montgomery, Clemens, North Carolina. Connie Mark Gravetti, Travel, North Carolina, U.S. Air Force. Frederick M. Hall, Waynesville, North Carolina, U.S. Air Force. Joseph N. Hargrove, Mount Olive, North Carolina, U.S. Marine Corps. Harold V. Harris, Durham, North Carolina, U.S. Army. Luther Harris Howard, Hamlet, North Carolina, U.S. Army.
Carter A. Howell, Fayetteville, North Carolina, U.S. Air Force. Litchfield Patterson Huey, Warsaw, North Carolina, U.S. Navy. Larry C. Jamerson, Roseman, North Carolina, U.S. Army. William D. Johnson, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, U.S. Army. Charlie Gray Lewis, Fayetteville, North Carolina, U.S. Army.
Larry Gene Louis, Asheville, North Carolina, United States Navy. James M. Luttrell, Fayetteville, North Carolina, United States Army. John Lewis McDaniel, Gibbonsville, North Carolina, United States Air Force. Jerry L. Moore, Cleveland, North Carolina, United States Army. Larry K. Morrow, Laurel, North Carolina, United States Army.
Dennis William Romelia, Smithfield, North Carolina, U.S. Army. Edward D. Palmgren, Winston-Salem, United States Air Force. Robert Milton Stanton, Jr., Jamesville, United States Army. William Carl Sutton, Goldsboro, United States Air Force. Jimmy L. Watson, Lacuma, United States Army.
Alvin Lee Weeks, Concord, North Carolina, U.S. Army. Philip Rogerson Wellens, Raleigh, North Carolina, U.S. Air Force. Wayne V. Wilson, Thomasville, North Carolina, U.S. Marine Corps. Walter Sutton Wood, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, U.S. Navy, until they all come home.
We will now have the missing man table.
This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us today, so we remember them. The table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner against his oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intention to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith, awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon tied prominently on the vase is reminiscent of the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels and breasts of thousands who bear witness to the unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter faith. There is salt upon the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their strength and their might and their aid, and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember, until they all come home. Remember.
Once again, we want to thank the North Carolina Vietnam Helicopter Pilot Association for being here today for the ceremony. And we want to thank all the other groups that come in different times of the year to honor our missing men. Gerald, do you want to make a statement or a comment? You sure? Nothing about the annual?
I've already talked.
Jerry Seago, do you have anything you want? Anybody else have anything?